Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tousi TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tousi and this is your latest news update, this time from the Middle East. As expected, the Hamas leadership have now told the AFP that disarmament in Gaza is out of the question, which of course is a huge obstacle to the phase 2 and 3 and everything else of their so-called peace deal. We are expecting all the hostages who are alive to be released tomorrow. But this a new twist, essentially, is going to be causing some chaos. We're going to give you guys the latest update on this and the statements from Hamas. Of course, we have the live feed from Tel Aviv and the hostages square. Of course, they are still celebrating. As we said, the hostages family are expecting their loved ones to be released and arrive by tomorrow, Monday, the 13th of October. Having said that, what's going on right now is going to be making things slightly difficult because Hamas clearly don't want this to go forward. Now, first things first, let's talk about disarmament. As reported on Tousi TV, our website, Hamas have now broken Trump's peace plan, no disarmament. This is also confirmed by the Economic Times and of course directly. This is a statement by a senior Hamas official telling the AFP, saying that surrendering weapons is, and I quote, out of the question and not negotiable. Dismissing a central demand of this peace deal that has been brokered by President Trump. Now, the Americans, of course, the proposal offers amnesty to Hamas members who wish to leave Gaza. Obviously, disarm, then leave. Initially, they said, sure, we agree to everything. Now they're saying we are not going to disarm. It's non-negotiable. We will give up control of the governance of Gaza. That's good news, right? But they refuse to give up their weapons because that's literally the whole point of Hamas. It's supposed to be an armed terror group. Without guns, it's basically a pointless political party like the Liberal Democrats in the UK. Now, tomorrow, Monday, is the deadline for the hostages to be released. We're expecting the hostages to be released probably around lunchtime, maybe late morning, if they release all the hostages who are supposed to be alive, because they could still play a dirty tactic, say, oh yeah, we've lost one or two of them, to basically stall and delay. So everybody is still on edge. The hostages could still be released and the deal could still fall apart at the same time, which is a lose-lose for Hamas because they're losing their leverage. If you go to Gaza quickly, they've already have started cleaning up the main streets of Gaza City, which we can obviously show you. We do also have a live feed coming up from Gaza Strip, and so that operation has already started. We also have some footage from the Hamas militants who have somehow become brave enough again to walk around in their official uniforms, which is kind of ironic because their official uniform still includes a face covering because they really care about COVID. And they have already started rounding up Gazans who are anti-Hamas, the Gazans who've been helping Israel to basically wipe them out. Now, a couple of things to mention as we go back to the live feed from the hostages square in Tel Aviv. Hamas official, the same senior official speaking to AFP, said that we will not participate in the official signing of the agreement, which will be happening tomorrow. President Trump and his team will be traveling to the Middle East, and but Hamas said we're not going to get involved. So that doesn't mean it's not going to be signed in that sense, but they could still sign it, but they're not going to be there themselves directly, right? They've also said that we expect more complex negotiations for the second phase of the Trump plan. I mean, it's only complex because of Hamas themselves, because if they are saying now, well, we will release the hostages tomorrow, that's number one. Good. Secondly, we will sign the deal, but we're not going to be there ourselves. Thirdly, we will sign the deal, but we are not going to disarm, which was one of the biggest demands of President Trump and the whole peace plan. So I'm not really sure what these guys are thinking in Gaza, if they are actually going to release the hostages. From their perspective, it's a terrible idea because that's the only leverage that they have left. Release all the hostages and then say we're not going to sign the deal, for example, for second phase. Phase one is happening now, right? tomorrow. How can you go through phase 2 and phase 3? Because if it collapses, if the ceasefire collapses, you have no more leverage. The IDF could come in and destroy the whole thing. So I don't know what they're playing, unless this is just complete nonsense, that they're just obviously the Hamas officials telling this to AFP, trying to pretend that they have their upper hand in the negotiations, but they want to negotiate something else. So they are using this as a red line, but it's not a real red line. They will probably still disarm anyway, but they want to ensure that there is a guarantee for the senior leadership of Hamas to be able to leave Gaza, for example, to go to Egypt. Perhaps it's something like that, because it makes no sense why they would release the hostages yet say that we won't disarm. Well, they're going to force you to disarm. Anyway, as we said, they are already on the streets and they still have control because they are rounding up people in Gaza. We have a video, graphic, of course, we've blurred towards the end of it, accusing some people in Gaza of working with the Israelis. And of course, there have been a lot of anti-Hamas Gazans who have been helping Mossad and the IDF intelligence over the last couple of years. So this is how Hamas members are dealing with these Gazans on the streets. Nobody cares, apparently, in the international community. So that's, yeah. I mean, it's not really that surprising, but that you won't hear anything from, for example, Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or Greta Thunberg, and they're not going to protest about this. You're not going to get marches on the streets in the West to defend the innocent Gazans who are now getting killed, as expected and predicted. Remember, speaking of Tucker Carlson, remember Tucker Carlson saying that, you know, he's not even sure whether Hamas is a terrorist organization. This is a big problem. Like, watch this again, just a reminder.
Claiming that Hamas is a group of jihadis, they're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly. Which I don't know if that's true, by the way. It seems more like a political organization. But whatever it is, they're telling us constantly they're Al Qaeda.
He's not sure. It seems to be, according to Tucker Carlson, that Hamas is just a political organization, right? Now, of course, following the footage I showed you from Gaza today, Dinesh D'Souza says, quoted Tucker saying, they say Hamas is a terror organization. To me, it sounds more like a political movement. I said political organization. Now, why would Tucker and his allies say that? Is this normal behavior for a political movement? Of course it's not. But they don't care. So they don't expect the irrational weirdos like Candace or Tucker or Greta to understand the reality of what you're dealing with jihadis. Now, as we said, it will be probably about 24 hours from now, probably less, that we should be getting the hostages. The parade that they used to do in this footage, that the imagery you can see, they're not allowed to do this tomorrow. So if they do it, of course, that's another point, which means that Hamas are breaking the deal. But I don't think they will do like this. They'll probably do it like the first time they did this, a few months after October 7th. But so Monday morning, we should be, again, we don't know exactly what time. We're going to keep you guys posted on that. We'll have a whole full day live coverage from Gaza tomorrow, as the hostages should be released. But we also have the Hamas senior leadership having a complete meltdown, and I'm not exaggerating here. So one of the members of the political bureau of Hamas, Musa Abu Marzouk, for those of you who watch this channel, you're familiar with Mr. Potato Head, had a bit of a rage interview with an Egyptian news channel and an Egyptian journalist. When the journalist was asking him, you guys basically promised that October 7th will lead to the liberation of Palestine. But it didn't happen. But it seems like Musa was clearly saying, no, that was never the plan. Yahya Sinwar said that. Everybody said that was supposed to be the plan. Then he rage quit the interview. He just completely had a meltdown and left the interview. Watch this.
وما قمتم به في 7 أكتوبر الطوفان كان سيؤدي إلى التحرير دكتور موسى.
That was supposed to lead to liberation.
ما في عاقل بيقول إنه 7 أكتوبر ب 1500 مقاتل ممكن يحرر فلسطين. أرجوك خلي أسئلتك أسئلة يعني محترمة على الأقل.
هي أسئلة محترمة، لكن أنا أسألك سيد موسى أنا أسألك الآن أسئلة الشارع الفلسطيني، أسئلة قطاع غزة. الحديث اليوم
أسئلتك أنت. اسمع أسئلتك أنت.
تفضل. هذه أسئلتي، لكن أنقلها بلسان الشارع.
يعني هذه أسئلتك
Oh my God.
سيد موسى أرجو أنه أنت قبلت تخرج معنا عبر الشاشة.
Oh no.
يا سيد موسى أنت الآن عفوا لا أسمح لك سيد موسى بمرزوق أن تتحدث بهذه اللغة. على أي حال يعني هذا يكشف عقلية حركة حماس. للأسف كان المفترض أن تكون أكثر هدوءا.
Yeah. They don't like basic questions. There was nothing wrong with that interview, by the way. But he refused to actually tell the truth. Rage quit. Anyway, speaking of the crazies having interviews, in Iran, Foreign Minister Arakchi was also being questioned by the Iranian TV about the Abraham Accords. President Trump has said everybody should join Abraham Accords and the Abraham Peace Accord. The foreign minister of the Islamic Republic says that the Abraham Accord is a betrayal and Iran will never join it. I'm pretty sure it's not really up to Arakchi or the Islamic occupiers of Iran to say whether Iran and the Iranians will join the Abraham Accord or not, because you are simply the occupation in Iran and you can't speak on behalf of Iran or the Iranians. And he could say whatever he wants to say. Nobody's expecting the Islamic Republic to join the Abraham Accords. No, nobody in the region, from the Americans, Saudi, Israel, is actually even recognizing the Islamic Republic as the representative of the Iranian people. What they are saying is that we know you guys are going to go soon. You're falling apart. We will like Iran, actual Iran, to join the Abraham Accords. And of course it will happen. And it won't be called the Abraham Accords. That's the next phase. It will be called the Cyrus Accords. Now, that aside, there is a situation because of tomorrow's signing of the agreement in the phase 2 negotiations, because the Iranian regime have said that, well, we're not going to be there, but they've also sent a message to Hamas. So first things first, we got the Egyptian president, El-Sisi, confirming that the summit in Sharm el-Sheikh on Monday will be chaired by both the Egyptian president and the American president. And it will actually have more than 20 countries joining this. So it's going to be a huge day. It's going to be a massive, obviously, live coverage on this channel. And the Iranian regime, nobody really invited them. It was simply a diplomatic sort of, the Islamic Republic, would you like to join as well? Now, President Pezeshkian of the IRGC has said that, well, we're not going. I don't think they really want you there. It was just supposed to be a formality, symbolic. If you want to be, just sit in the corner, watch the actual peace to happen. But it seems to be that the Islamic Republic are currently busy trying to tell Hamas to sabotage the deal. At least phase 2, phase 3 of the deal. I think we have sound now from Tel Aviv. So this is the live footage we have from Tel Aviv, the Hostage Square, and I'm going to get some reaction in the live chat while we're here. Because in case you haven't seen, today there's been a major announcement in Gaza, which was actually, this happened yesterday, in the middle of genocide apparently. So according to the Islamists and the left-wingers, there's been a genocide in Gaza, right? There's been a complete, nothing could happen, everybody's starving, no one could do anything, right? Remember this. Yesterday, last night, in Gaza, they opened a new restaurant, a new coffee shop, and they call it Cafe Nova, after the Nova Music Festival, which was, of course, invaded and attacked on October the 7th. I'm going to show you this video. This is the music. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of the music, we don't need that. So this restaurant has now been opened in Gaza, literally called Cafe Nova. Look how nice it looks. If this was supposed to be genocide, and if this was supposed to be the end of the world, how did they manage, look, quickly to build this nice place? Very spacious, nice chairs, all the stuff, probably getting the material from Egypt and Qatar or wherever they're getting it from. They managed to successfully, quickly open a very nice looking cafe. I'm calling it Cafe Nova. It's a little bit OTT because they think, on the one hand, they seem to be very proud and victorious. We've made an achievement going around and targeting innocent civilians. And at the same time, they want to also be the victims. That we got nothing else left. We can't even feed ourselves, even though everybody is somehow overweight. Somebody should send us some Ozempic to lose weight. But somehow they also have enough money and material to open up a restaurant, build it in the middle of the actual war while the Israelis are still there. You see the problem with the whole argument of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens? It doesn't really add up. And of course, calling it Cafe Nova. And they've been proudly posting it around on social media platforms. This is, of course, towards the western part. And because not all of Gaza has been obviously flattened, as you guys know. Although unless you watch the mainstream media, then you might think the whole of Gaza has been flattened, but hasn't. They still have the supermarkets and everything else left as well in the areas that obviously was created as a humanitarian corridor by the IDF. Now, there is a thing I want to show you guys. This is about Yahya Sinwar. This is absolutely fascinating, by the way. So there has been the Yahya Sinwar's memoir and his diary that Hamas have been proudly, essentially embracing it, saying that our leader Yahya was such an intellectual man, and this has now been published. This is obviously the memoir in bunker and the communication that was intercepted. Thanks to Ronen Bergman and Adam Rascon for, of course, writing this up. Now, I'm going to read out the main bit. According to the propaganda, the anti-Western propaganda, Hamas on the 7th of October 2023 simply targeted the Israeli military sites. That's what they said. They simply targeted the IDF. Now, obviously, it wasn't true. But that was the propaganda. Until now, there have been some people who believed it, right? Candace Owens. She doesn't know, but she knows. Well, according to Yahya Sinwar himself, this is Yahya Sinwar and also Mohammed Sinwar, his brother, what we've discovered is this. This was obviously the computer that they found. A 6-page memo, handwritten in Arabic, by the Sinwar brothers and Yahya himself. It appears to be a direct order from Sinwar, who was obviously instructing the assault on the October the 7th. This copy has also been verified by the New York Times and Hamas themselves, calling for fighters or terrorists to target soldiers, Israeli soldiers, as well as civilian communities, as well as to broadcast the violent acts using obviously the cameras that they had and GoPro cams that they were having on their bodies. Mr. Sinwar wanted his members and fighters to target civilians from the outset, which contradicts the leadership's propaganda. Although the memo does not explicitly mention any plans to kidnap civilians, it did lay out for the fighters to enter residential neighborhoods and obviously set them on fire. So in the actual memo, we didn't have any direct order to kidnap, right? So unless that was obviously just part of the culture, that, of course, you see people, you're going to have to take a few as hostages. It's just always good to have some leverage. Or perhaps it was a given, basically, that he didn't need to basically put it in the order. So all he had to do is just go and say, okay, so these are some military sites, but these are also the residential areas, the communities in Israel, in the south of Israel, just go in and kill. So by default, that also means probably pick up a few of them just in case. And this is just before 10 a.m. on October 7th, a commander from Gaza City Battalion, referred to as Abu Muhammad, telling his junior members, start setting homes on fire, burn them. I want the whole kibbutz to be in flames. And so this was also the actual communication that came out. So the fascinating part about this is that the fact that the order directly came from Sinwar, and it has also been verified, and has also basically been accepted by the Islamists themselves. Somehow, CNN, BBC, and all the others are extremely quiet. Obviously, even the newspapers were forced to report this, but they don't really want to tell people what actually happened, because if people realize what happened, then so many people will change their mind, and it will go against the propaganda that's been spread around for the past couple of years. And obviously, we have on Tousi TV, we have produced a new documentary, which will be released shortly. Obviously, if you're not a member of Tousi TV, just look underneath here, join Tousi TV Plus by going on tousi.tv. And this documentary, which is about October the 7th, it will show you unheard stories from that day, from both the IDF side and the civilian side, and show you some graphic, obviously, images and a lot of things that happened. I'll show you a few seconds of that trailer again while we wait for more reaction to this. And I'm going to get some of the comments in the live chat. So let's just go to the trailer.
Israel, this region, has always been a complex environment.
Everybody told us that if we'll only give up some territory, go and sign peace agreements, there'll be peace.
In 2005, Israel withdrew from Gaza as part of a unilateral withdrawal to secure peace. It led to a Hamas violent takeover in 2007.
I think October 7 is a masks off moment on a global level.
People are entering our houses. People are trying to open the safe room door.
Our own misinformation and propaganda against the state of Israel, centuries of anti-Semitism. Tousi TV is in Israel, and we're going to be showing you the true side of this country. Yeah, Beyond Survival, which will be on Tousi TV Plus, our main platform, which you can obviously go on tousi.tv, or obviously make sure to download the Tousi TV app, the home of geopolitical news, as well, to stay up to date with everything that we do throughout the day. News, but also documentaries, original series, and the chat forum and everything else that we have. Speaking of which, let's go to the live chat quickly while we are still getting the footage live from the Hostages Square. We're also waiting, as I said, from our live feed from Gaza. But while we are here, let's see what's going on with you guys in the live chat. We've got Esther from Israel saying all Hamas wants is to keep killing us. Yeah, of course, that's why they can't really give up arms, because that just defeats the purpose of their whole group. God's best friend said the Israeli left kidnapped the hostages. Okay. We got Al and Ivan says a Cafe Nova. For F's sake, I never thought they could sink any lower. It's still impressive that they managed to build the whole thing. Parker says, this is not true. I just checked everywhere and no one broke the ceasefire yet. No one's broken the ceasefire. They've broken the peace deal. And if you go on, okay, so I know there are some people who don't have the high enough IQ to understand how it works. There's a website called Google, if you don't believe the AFP, because that was the verified version. There's a website called Google. Just go on Google, literally type Hamas disarmament, 2 words, Hamas disarmament. Just do it now. And then go on the news tab, click on it, and you can see the recent news reports, including the Economic Times and the others. Click on it. It shows that Hamas have confirmed that they will refuse to disarm, which is breaking the key demand of President Trump's peace plan. It's not rocket science. It's simply not being reported by CNN or ABC or CBC or BBC, but that's irrelevant. The newspapers have verified this. AFP have verified this, and Hamas have said it directly. And that's what we do on this channel. You do realize if I give you a fake news and false news, which you guys can then obviously debunk, you do realize what will happen? Right now we have 15,000, almost 16,000 people watching live. The next live report that we will do, we're going to have 5 people. And the next one, we're going to have 2 people. And then we're going to go bankrupt and the whole business will fall apart. You see the issue? It's called free market. If I give you fake news, you're all going to stop watching it. Just like how you guys stop watching CNN and BBC because of all the fake news. But yes, there is a website called Google. Go check it out. It's quite cool, actually. And it will and there's some... Oh my God, people don't understand what Google is. This other person says, you have too much trust in Google, though. It's not Google, Google is a search engine. So it's spelled Google, right? They've created it, it's been going on for like 25 years. It's not Google telling you, it's not a person, it's not like a pet or like some sort of, hello, my name is Google, I'm telling you that, no. It's a search engine, gives you the links to the official website and it gives you all the different versions. So if you don't trust, for example, this news outlet, you can give you guys the other news outlets. You could compare, do research, right? If you don't trust this channel, if you don't trust AFP, the actual official source that talk directly to Hamas, if you don't trust them, there are many links, right? Just go on the search, Hamas disarmament, news, and then go recent news. Just check it out. Read the quote from Hamas that they refuse to disarm. Now, while they say that, they're a bunch of idiots because it's not really up to Hamas whether they will disarm or not, because you're going to have the international community there. And if President Trump is obviously serious about this, then they can force them to do it. Also, if you don't like Google, just go on Ground News. They used to be our sponsor, but anyway, just go on AFP. It's not really that difficult. All right. Yeah, Stephen also says, yeah, Ground News will tell you, of course. Ground News will bring all the news together as well. There are some idiots. What is going on here? There's someone else. How do you know we can trust Google? You don't have to trust Google. It's a search engine. Google is not giving... I mean, Google also gives you news. Just ignore Google. When Google has the actual news, ignore it. Use it as a search engine. Oh my God. Do I have to explain what a search engine is? Yeah, Google drowns some websites unlike before when they show everything. Yeah, but you have to do manual search with the filtering. But there will be enough sources on this topic to show you what Hamas have said. What is my job to defend you, Google? Right, if this will prove everything, you cannot make peace with Islam, Gaza, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Iran, Pakistan, Nigeria? What did Nigeria do? Congo, Sudan, and Europe. Oh dear God. So basically you can't do negotiations with anybody. Nobody can be trusted. Well, which is kind of true, obviously. Alright, so those guys are still there on the ground in the square. Let's get their sound back. There you go. So they've been there for the past couple of days, and they will be there till tomorrow when their hostages are returned. So somebody asked in the live chat, what time will the hostages be released? So we don't exactly know. Some people said late morning, early afternoon, obviously Middle East time. I don't know, I'm expecting it to be late afternoon, which in the UK it will be probably around lunchtime, maybe. And Eastern time in the US will be early morning, like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. We don't know. I don't think we'll know until literally tomorrow morning. It might be quite early as well. Someone said, let me show you this. Oh my gosh, I so need to find myself a Brit. Your frustration and sarcasm is so attractive. Name is back saying, I'm talking about all the Islamic massacres. Oh, that makes sense now. Yes. So going back to the previous comments, which said, if this will prove anything, you cannot make peace with Islam. The point was examples where Islam basically caused chaos. I thought you meant all these places. So obviously from Gaza to Europe and Congo. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Got it. Thank you. At the end of the day, as I said, it's not really up to Hamas whether they want to disarm or not, because this time compared to previous times, not just President Trump himself as the chair of this incoming committee, but he's managed to get the consensus from the Arab world, the European countries, basically everybody apart from Iran, to ensure that this goes through, which means they will force Hamas, even if that means they're going to have to send the Egyptian army to go in, pick up the guns from Hamas, they will have to do it. And once Hamas release all the hostages tomorrow, they have no choice. They have no leverage unless they want to find a way to not release all the hostages, which will backfire. I don't think they're going to be, I was going to say, I don't think they're going to be that stupid, but you never know. I think all hostages will be released tomorrow, but don't be surprised if they try to find a way to say, oh, we can't find 2 of them, for example, but in reality they are still keeping them. But once they release them as planned tomorrow, then it doesn't really matter what the leadership of Hamas say about refusing to disarm and breaking the peace plan, because they will be forced to give up. What's going on here? Lindsay in the live chat says, hi Tousi TV, I was going to private mail you regarding this. However, now I know. Tousi TV just took £55 from my bank. Yeah, we don't hack bank accounts, by the way. We don't have that capability, cyber attacks. I'm assuming, Lindsay, you joined Tousi TV Plus. Obviously 55, that's the annual memberships. So it's annual, it's yearly, and by definition it's yearly. So I'm guessing obviously your account was renewed. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, send us an email obviously at team@tousi.tv and we'll sort it out for you. We have had actually some people being slightly confused. I thought we made it clear on the website. We do say monthly and yearly, which again it means monthly or yearly. It's not, we don't do one-off. I don't think we have anywhere that does one-off. Netflix or Daily Wire and the others, Disney Plus, I think everybody has either monthly or yearly, rather than one-off memberships. And there's Lifetime, which we're going to bring Lifetime with popular demand the other week when you guys were asking for Lifetime memberships. We're going to have limited time for that because otherwise we'll go bankrupt. And having said that, yes, let me know what you guys have any questions. Also, it's in the terms of services. It says it's a subscription, so it's a rolling subscription. It's not manual. All right. Yeah, Wilson gets it. Wilson says that's how subscriptions work. Yeah, you'll be surprised, Wilson. We've had emails. People saying, "Wait, what is this? I paid last month and you took money again this month." It's like, yeah, it's not that I'm like hacking into your bank accounts. You signed up to it. All right. So that's still going on. Let me have a look at Gaza. Actually, it's quite nice weather. We got the view from the Gaza border, which I will show you now. All right, let's quickly go to Gaza. Relatively, largely peaceful. Yeah, I'm not really sure at this point why the live feed has now moved from Gaza City itself to the border. I don't really care much about the border itself, considering that the IDF are not really doing anything anymore. And it's still tomorrow. Somehow, if Hamas decide not to release the hostages, I mean, they will have to. But let's see what they do. Anyway. What? Jack, oh, what's going on here? Jack in the live chat says, what's a Tousi TV Plus? That's an interesting way of spelling it. Tousi TV Plus, of course, is our main platform, is our full channel. Obviously, YouTube, we have just breaking news, live updates for you guys. But if you want to get access to everything that we have, from not just the live shows, but also the news posts throughout the day, the interviews, and documentaries, which we showed you a trailer earlier, original series, and most importantly, our chat forum, where you can talk to me directly and like-minded people. Obviously, go on tousi.tv. Oh, as I said, mostly don't forget to if we have the, I don't know, download the Tousi TV app from your app stores as well. You can scan the QR code at the bottom right of the screen. You get complete access to the channel, and there will be much more that will be added in the next few days and weeks. All right, let's go back to some of the super chats. The lefties used Syria 20 years ago to run hate marches against the West and the Jews. Same slogans, same people, same agenda. It started long ago. Also in Jordan and in Iran, we had the same problem. That was about 50 years ago, but way before Syria 20 years ago. We had people having a meltdown again. We got Jason CNC. Clickbait! He's shouting clickbait! I've already told other people, Jason, there's a nice website called Google. Just go and search Hamas disarmament and it will tell you what's going on if you don't understand how facts work. All right. All right. Lindsay says, you have become so rude. Now you're running around in Burberry. I've always been running around in Burberry. Thanks to taking money from people's bank. No, we don't go into people's bank. That's not how it works. Also, the money of Tousi TV Plus doesn't go to me. So the YouTube ad revenue is mostly obviously from myself and our family here. Tousi TV Plus is not really actually for me. So the money goes to our team and the projects that we have. And the Burberry was actually on sale, and my wife bought that as a gift. And also, doesn't matter if I drive around in a Ferrari. It's not like we are stealing money, or we are. That's why I refuse to do, for example, fundraising and all this stuff that some people do. Yeah, we don't do that because I don't want to like feel that I owe anything to anybody. That's why we also refused all this time to have financial backers or investors in that sense, because even though there's nothing wrong with that, Daily Wire started with that with about $4 or $5 million as an investment to build it. But we did it gradually, slowly, grassroots level. Everything we've done is our own business model. We have a product and we sell it, free market. If you like it, you get it. If you don't like it, you don't get it. Because I don't like to be also controlled or be owed to anybody. If someone with a lot of money comes and gives me even free money, it's going to be very uncomfortable. And my father always taught me, basically, always ensure that anything you earn or make is your own doing rather than asking somebody else. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we don't do fundraising, and we don't do we haven't had basically financial backers. There were a couple of opportunities though, but Jones says, who forced them to take Tousi TV Plus? Yeah, apparently I hacked into their account. Ivan says, the standard of trolls ain't what they used to be. I know. Also, wait, that person said, I've become so rude recently. I was always rude. Since the moment I was born, I was sassy, I was sarcastic, and my dry sense of humor hasn't changed since the beginning. And I always had good sense when it comes to fashion. Thank you very much. Lefty crowd cheered Trump and Erdogan and booed Netanyahu just like Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe. And Flores says, always strikes me how civilized and composed the Israeli gatherings are compared to the hard-turned Palestinian ones. It's so telling. I know. There's a difference, I guess. Alan says, ignore the idiots, Tousi. Yeah. Samantha says, you haven't got to justify if you can make money from your channel. It's a business, of course. It's not a charity. Your time and commitment to an accurate live feed is appreciated by those who don't fear another's wealth. Thank you very much. See, people get it. It's like going to the CEO of Fox News saying, how dare you have a salary as the CEO of Fox News? Thank you, Kaz. And Yoda says, keep your head up, brother. Here is a sole tip for more designer clothes. Not much, but screw that crusty turd begging on bagging on your hard work, and I'm buying Tousi TV Plus now. I love how Lindsay complaining about Tousi TV Plus. Apparently, we're going to people's bank accounts. Is actually making people get a membership of Tousi TV Plus. You've started a new movement, Lindsay. Thank you so much. Yes. In order to tell Lindsay how it works, go get your Tousi TV Plus memberships now. The link here, tousi.tv, or just in the description as well. Or if you're watching this somehow on your smart TVs, you can also scan the QR code to the bottom right. If you join as an annual member, it's annual, by the way, yearly. You know, it will renew yearly. You will get 1 month free. So make sure to do that. You get access to all the documentaries. There's going to be a lot of premium content coming in the next few days and weeks as well. All right, so that was good, right? Right. So one of the things I've still been waiting is to see if we are going to get any confirmation on the timing of the release of hostages. So far, nothing. But I will, of course, keep you guys posted. One of the best ways to stay up to date with that sort of stuff, of course, again, apart from Tousi TV Plus membership, I've been plugging that enough tonight. Because YouTube itself, we just do the breaking news, right? When something big happens. But if you either follow us on X, we now have an official X account. Until now, I've just had my personal one. But we now have Tousi TV Official. It's got a yellow check mark. If you follow that, but also if you download the Tousi TV app, that's free to download, by the way. Don't worry about it. You get access to the news posts. If you just click on news at the bottom, I think it's that template has changed. You do get access to the news posts, the articles and everything else. So we have the news alerts and everything else that we push throughout the day as well. So we will keep you guys posted on all that nonsense of what's going to happen tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, join Tousi TV Plus. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media. Oh, we're going to go to the members of the channel, by the way. A few minutes after here, we're going to go to the chat forum, which is part of Tousi TV Plus. I had to say it again. We're going to go to the post live chat. It's on the left-hand side of the screen. If you are on our private Discord server, post live chat. I will see you guys in the next few minutes on our chat forum. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.